And I'm going to go live on our little Facebook community. Oops. There we go. Okay. Welcome to the Business of Numerology Masterclass. Guys, this is one of my favorite classes ever because I am incredibly passionate about people feeling supported in business. So, of Numerology Masterclass. Guys, get rid of the feedback. Before we dive into today's call, there's a couple things that I want to kind of let you know up front. Number one, the call will likely last for more than an hour. If you have to hop off after an hour, that's totally fine. The replay is going to be available for you to catch later. If you have friends who are in a healing business, coaching business, professional space holders of any sort, you will likely want to share this with them because this content is powerful, whether you study numerology or not, whether you decide to go into numerology or not. If you are in the business of helping people, these 6 steps I'm going to share today will help you stabilize and grow your business. It's incredibly powerful. And it's very simple, which I think is why it can be confusing, because everyone seems to think that it should be like really hard and really complicated. And it's actually not. It's actually very simple and straightforward. But what separates the people who actually like get the results they want and those that don't is a decision along with the energetics. So that is what I've come to understand over the years, right? It's those 2 pieces, the decision and the energetics. But these pieces are very straightforward. And you may even find that you'll listen to this call a couple of times as you start to implement. And I will tell you, based on where you're at in business, which step to start on or which step to focus on. Okay, so first of all, before we dive into the content, I want to know how many of you attended either the lives or the replays from last week on magnetic soul codes. Some of you did? Okay, awesome. Wonderful. I also see that we have some of the already certified numerologists on the call, which is so, so wonderful. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yay. Okay. So before we get started into the business content, I want to just take a second to ground and connect in. Oftentimes when we hear business or strategy, we like get all up in our heads and like somehow like exit our bodies. And it's incredibly important to remember that this content is meant to support and anchor you. The strategies and the structures are meant to be grounding and feel good. However, if you haven't felt grounded and good in business in a while, and even people who've been doing this for years, it can be ungrounding. Some of the changes we've been facing over the last few years, it feels unfamiliar. And so it's a place of reminding ourselves that we can feel safety, source safety, and create safety in our business and in our work. Okay. So take a second with me if you would like to, please. And let's just land into our bodies. So for me, that looks like wiggling in my chair for a minute, tapping my feet on the ground, maybe tapping my hands on my thighs, just kind of like rolling your shoulders back a little bit, releasing whatever energy you have from however you started your day today. And just take a minute to land back in. We want to keep our body as on board with us as possible in this call. Let's take some breaths together. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Okay. Let's do this. First thing I want to ask you is, how do you want to feel in your work? How do you want to feel in your business? Like when you're working, when you're doing your thing, how would you like to feel? And I'll share for myself, for me, all along my business, I wanted to feel a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to feel freedom. I want to feel the ability to make the decisions I want to make, to go to the things I want to go to invest in the things I want to invest in, to provide the lifestyle for my children and I that I want to provide. I want to feel free to make choices and have options and have opportunities available to me. I also want to feel stable and grounded and safe, right? I want to feel taken care of. I want to feel connected. I want to feel rooted. What a beautiful word, Anne-Marie. Luminously rooted in abundance, deep, authentic, creative connections. Kind of a big deal. My foundation for everything. Inspired and free to be me. Inspired, vibrant, magnetic. Oh, thank you for sharing. Peace and ease and abundance. Peace, abundance, and ease as I co-create in service. Sexy, joyous, embodied, freedom, abundant, creative, love, connected, deep, real, inspired, vibrant, magnetic. Oh, after this weekend sail, I want to feel rested and capable. Rested and capable. Those are beautiful words. Expansive and free. Absolutely. In order for us to feel these experiences, what we need from our businesses is to feel a level of support, right? Expensive. Feel a level of support. So I want to share with you these 6 steps we're going to go through today to really help you ground in that. Okay. So you guys ready to dive right in? Balanced. Absolutely balanced. At the end of the day, I want my business to support me to live my dreams, whatever my dreams are, right? I want my business to support me to do that. And this is not an out of reach goal, you guys. This is super, super, super freaking doable, super doable. So one of the things I really want you to do is to recognize that the thing you want your business to do for you is available, right? All of the things you guys have just listed in the chat is available to you. And so even maybe write that at the top of your page. My business supports me to feel this way, and this is available to me, right? To just give yourself full-fledged permission to have it. Okay, let's get into it. This is where I'm going to get into the structures. Okay, this is where I'm going to get into the structures. There is a step guaranteed that you will hear today where you'll be like, that is my next step. I will also point to you what steps you will need, depending on where you're at in business, to start to implement. This is the part where a lot of creative people resist because they don't want to be put in a box. Finding stability in your business is not the same as being put in a box. In fact, accepting grounded stability into your business allows more freedom out of the box. It allows you to have the resources to be free, to be expansive, to be creative, right? It's really hard to be free, expensive, and creative when you're struggling to cover your costs. Really hard. In fact, that puts a lid on my creativity. I don't know about you guys. Okay. So step number 1, the first thing you need to have is you need to have and I'm going to say need a lot. Obviously, you guys use your own discernment as to what you want to take, what fits for you and what doesn't fit for you. This is what I've learned after studying business in university for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years, and being in business in one form or another over the last 20 some odd years. And coaching private clients, particularly solo entrepreneurs in the healing space, coaching space, professional space holding space for the past 8 to 10 years. Okay. Step number one that everybody needs, you need a leveraged client attraction strategy. Okay. So someone can pop that in the chat. You need a leveraged client attraction strategy. You need a way to reach your clients on a one-to-many basis. Clients need to hear you. They need to know you exist. They need to know you're out there. Thank you. Leverage client attraction strategy. This is step one. You need to have a way to reach your clients in a one-to-many basis. Okay. So for many of us who are using social media as our key marketing platform, this is things like education-based marketing. Okay. I think many of us are fairly familiar with education-based marketing, whether we use that terminology or not, but it's where we share content, valuable content, connected content, content that makes people feel something, experience something, or learn something in a one-to-many way. This class in and of itself is a perfect example of leveraged client attraction. Okay, there's one of me and there's a whole group of you, and we're all connecting. It's free. You guys, it's low risk for you. I would add that showing up to a Zoom call and being on a call for an hour is slightly more high risk for my clients, because if you don't know me, you might be like, well, I don't want to waste an hour of my life, right? Asking someone to join you on a Zoom call is a commitment because they are investing time with you. So when you're thinking about your leveraged client attraction strategy, you want to have some things that are low risk for your clients, which would be like Reels, Facebook posts, TikToks, downloads, but anything that can take them like a few minutes to consume, right? Or passing moments to consume. If you are looking to move beyond social media for your marketing, this can also be things like networking events, masterminding, joining clubs, joining associations, anything where you have the ability to connect one to many with your people, right? So yeah, absolutely. It helps to have. Here's an option, okay? If you would like your business to support you, if you're running an online business, this is a very important thing to have in place, in my opinion. Leverage client attraction. In numerology, okay, so no matter what type of business you have, you need this. And I'm going to use numerology as an example as to how you can build this, okay? So numerology, leverage client attraction strategy looks like doing forecasting, right? So I just announced earlier, I think it was later last night actually, that I'm going to do a forecast for the month of October this afternoon, okay? I'm going to stream that online. It's a one-to-many. It's a very low risk because they don't have to hop on a Zoom with me. They can just kind of show up or click out if they don't want to listen. Many of my trained numerologists also do that. I know Anne-Marie has posted one recently. Kasha does them. I know Farah's been doing them. And you can use the energy of the month, the energy of the year, the energy of the week, whatever you want. And you can share with your clients what's top of mind in this energy and how it's going to impact them. So for example, Pamela, when she looks at the forecasting energy, she will talk about how it affects writers, how it's going to affect their creativity cycle, how it's going to support them to write really well, or what might come up to stop them from writing. Right? If you're in the business of coaching people around like love and relationship, let's say, you can take a look at what are some of the opportunities for connection and relationship in any given particular energy, and some of the reasons that might challenge relationships in any particular energy. If you are someone who helps people with their health or their mental well-being, it's the same thing. Different energies are going to carry different polarities, right? And so when you interpret it, you can give a general blurb, whether you want to do it on a video or on, a graphic or written content, short form, long form, it doesn't matter. And in fact, I find that some of the greatest marketers are the ones who will take that piece of content and put it into 2 or 3 formats so that it will be consumed by their clients in whichever way, lands best with them. I tend to do a long forecast, like mine's like 20 minutes to half an hour, but I also write a blurb about it in a blog. And I'll also usually come up with like a couple of short reels that are like a minute or less so that people will get a sense of what's going on. So that's me taking one piece of content and using it multiple different ways in a leveraged client attraction strategy. Okay. So if you're someone who struggles with What do I talk about? What kind of education-based marketing can I use? How do I create content and copy for my clients? How do I let my clients know what's going on? How do I support them? How do I connect with them? This understanding forecasting is a very, very powerful way to leverage your connection in that one-to-many way. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can also use digital downloads with this leverage client attraction strategy. I think a lot of numerologists would have on their website something along the lines of, learn your code for free, download this free resource. Like I have a link in my Instagram link tree for that. And you can do it generic, or you can do it very specific to your brand. And I will teach you how to do that in the practical numerology certification, how to customize the numerology content to your unique brand or your unique ideal client, right? No, I mean, if you guys were on the calls last week, you'll have a sense already that you have a group of clients that is specifically coded to you that are facing very unique challenges and very unique desires. And when you look at the universal energy and you look at your client, you can start to speak very specifically to them, which can help land you into a niche, right? People don't tend to invest in generalists. They tend to invest in specialists, which is why you want to try to niche that down as much as you can. Okay. So that was number one, leverage client attraction strategy. Does everybody have one takeaway that they could implement, whether it's with numerology or with your other practices, to think about how do I just dial up my leveraged client strategy, it's a tongue twister, leveraged client attraction strategy. How do I dial that up like 5% more? Does everyone have a takeaway? Yeah, Kasha does a forecast in her group. If you guys have Facebook groups, communities, masterminds, forecasts are gold. Gold. People love them. Everyone have a step? Okay, should we ready to move on to number two? Okay, number two is intimate client attraction. Okay, so pop it in the chat. Someone for me, number two, intimate client attraction. You need to have a way to connect with people one-on-one, low risk. Now I'm going to add a corollary to this. If you are already in the multi-six-figure price range in your business, like that's what your net revenue is, like let's say 150,000 a year or more, you probably don't need this. Okay. So if that's you, if you're making more than 150,000 a year, you probably don't need this. If you are making anything under 100,000 a year and you're looking to grow, I would recommend considering this, trying it on and seeing if it fits for you. This is one of those recommendations that will get love from some people and hate from other people. Okay. I find that the people who resist doing it though, they're trying to leapfrog ahead a step or two. Okay. So one-on-one intimate client attraction looks like a strategy call or a discovery call. Now, I've been in the coaching business for 10 plus years at this point, and nobody freaking buys because they're free. Nobody buys discovery calls anymore. When I started, if you would put it out there, I'll coach you for free on a call, everyone would leap on it and you would have a wait list in no time. The industry has changed and evolved a lot. And now if you're like, oh, I've got some free sessions available, who would like one? Unless you're, like I mentioned, one of those people who are, in the 150 plus mark a year, you're probably not going to instantly sell them out. Okay. People need to understand, and we need to understand as service providers, even if I'm giving something to you for free, you're investing. You're investing with your time and your energy. So I need to show you that you're going to receive value from spending time with me. You're not going to just spend time with me to spend time with me. You need to know there's value involved, tangible value. Okay. Otherwise, why would the person waste their time with you? They're just going to go for coffee with a friend. They're going to do something else that's going to create a positive return on investment. Okay. So whatever. Okay. So yes, someone's commenting in the chat. I'm over the income level you quoted, but I use discovery calls extensively. Thank you for saying that, because a lot of people in our industry will be like, oh, once you hit a certain mark, you don't need to do those anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But if you value connection in relationships, it's important to be able to provide that level of connection so that your people feel safe and trustworthy to invest in you. And I would just argue that if you're looking to grow your income, focus on the relationship. So find a way to connect with your clients in an intimate way, where this is the key, where you are acknowledging and honoring their investment and providing a positive ROI for them. Okay. So that when they show up on a call with you, they are leaving better off. You guys understand what I'm saying? Even if they're not paying for it, they're showing up, they're investing their time. You want them to leave better off. So the next, that's point number 2, have an intimate client attraction strategy where they will show up, they will receive some level of connection with you, free or very low investment, very low cost, where they leave better off. Okay. They leave with a higher return. So in numerology, we use mini blueprints for this, right? Where we will look at someone's code and we will give them personal guidance completely free and do I call it like a mini blueprint, right? Well, we'll just look at 2 or 3 aspects. I tend to look at the ruling number in the grid. Every numerologist will do things differently depending on the rest of their business model and depending on the price point of the next step, right? So if my price point of my next step is high, it makes sense for me to invest a lot in my client, right? If my price point for my next step is low, I might want to keep those discovery calls, short and sweet, but still providing powerful value. Okay. So absolutely. And if you want to maintain your level of income, it's like, well, what did it take me to get here? And knowing that the industry is constantly growing and evolving, we're still learning and growing and developing as we go. So point number 2 is intimate client attraction, where the person receives value. I want you to think in your business right now, what do I have in place to connect with people in an intimate way where they receive value? Now, in numerology, like I said, the no-brainer is to hop on calls with people and offer to do mini blueprints. Again, you will want to brand those, because just as it sounds, mini blueprint, you might get a few people interested, but people are going to be like, well, why? What does that do for me? What's the benefit? How is that going to impact me? So once you start to brand it in with your soulmate client information, with your code and the gifts you carry, with some specific outcomes you can help them with, then people are going to be like, ooh, I want that. So for example, say you're looking at a love coach and you decide to do mini blueprints as a way to connect with future clients. You say, let's hop on a call. I'm going to look at your love code with you and help you discover the number 1 reason why you're not in a loving relationship. Your number 1 block to love, your number 1 sabotage to love, your number 1 blind spot to love, whatever languaging seems like it fits for you, right? Now, if I'm a person who's lonely and desperate to find love, and you're telling me for free, I'm going to learn my number 1 blind spot to love, like I am going to show up for that call. Like I'm going to be there. Right. So that is a good return on investment if I'm lonely and I'm looking for love. Right. Or say, for example, you're a business coach and you help people with marketing, and you want to tell them that, let's do a mini session together. I will look at your numerology chart and I will tell you the biggest way you hide from your clients, right? Inadvertently hide from your clients, the biggest block you have to being visible, right? You can look at that in someone's chart and tell them, right? This is valuable information. And then from there, it's easy to position, oh, okay, the biggest block you have to being visible, pretend I'm a marketing coach. The biggest block you have to being visible is that you carry the arrow of frustration. So you get frustrated really easily. So you get caught up in stuff that's not necessary for you to do, which sabotages you and sidetracks you from the plan that's in alignment. So if you would like, I can offer to coach you on your aligned plan so that the arrow of frustration doesn't sidetrack you, right? I mean, that was kind of not maybe the greatest idea. Let's like the greatest wording around it. I could have come up with some examples in advance. I'm trying to kind of put them on the fly, but let's see. So if I were to look at my chart and I'd be like, okay, Megan, what would be the biggest reason you would have difficulties being visible? For me, it would be my arrow of sensitivity. So my arrow of sensitivity makes it so that I will often like go and then pull back, go and then pull back. So if I didn't already have that self-awareness about myself, someone telling me that would be like, oh my God, you understand me. And then if the person was like, let's put some strategies in place to support some consistency while also creating safety around your sensitivity so that you can still market and make money in your work, be like, oh my God, you get me. Like, yes, please. Right. And now that marketing coach can put together a customized plan, honoring my code, honoring my energy to help me get ahead, get forward, whatever, on the things I want to do. You know, the whole reason I was looking to talk to a marketing coach in the first place. Okay. So you can do intimate client attraction. You can do, like I said, mini blueprints. You would customize that based on your client code, based on your code. You can also do mini forecasts if you want. Another way to do intimate client attraction would be if you were to do a monthly call. So I think some people do these in their community where they just do monthly calls or monthly lives, or some people even do weekly lives where they say, you know, I'll pull a card for you, or I'll coach you on one question, or we'll do an energetic healing together, right? You can do the same with numerology where it's like, come on the call and I'll do a quick little numerology reading for you on the fly. That's absolutely something you can do. In fact, Angela and I are going to do them in her community tomorrow night. So if you want a demonstration of what that would look like, I know there's quite a few people on the call who's done, I believe Kasha and Anne-Marie have also done live readings on the fly, sort of depending on what's going on. And I know that, you know, they've also used them in circles. Okay. So if you've got a group of people coming together for a circle, whether it's virtual or in person, some kind of retreat or some kind of gathering. I know Farah uses them in her yoga gatherings at times where you can intimately connect with people because they feel seen, right? They feel seen, they feel understood, and you're addressing a unique challenge that's unique to them, right? According to their code. Okay, so number 2, intimate client attraction. Does everybody have an action or a thing they can do to dial up their intimate client attraction just a little bit more? What can you do to either create a stronger return on investment for your clients, so when they show up, they're getting so much value, they want to buy the next step? Or if you don't have them in place, do you have a sense of how you could apply them? Beautiful. Yeah, Pamela's saying I do the grids with everyone who I meet in person. And I'm going to start doing mini readings on TikTok. Yes, you are. I love that. The grids are so fun. The grids just really, like, when you really start to understand how to use the grids, it's very more, it's so much more specific than a ruling number, right? And you get quite detailed with the grids. Okay, does everyone have a step of something you can apply for intimate client attraction? I want to make sure that you guys are getting like tangible things. I'm not buying that theory, James. I'm sorry. You have a business, you have skills. Okay. And if you're starting from what feels like a step 1, you're like, I don't have any clients yet, and I don't know what the hell's going on. All the more reason to focus on step 1 and 2. That should be your investment. Like when I went to university, I spent 6 years studying. I earned while I studied, but only in years 4, 5, and 6. In years 1, 2, and 3, I earned by waitressing. Okay. I worked at the Keg and waited tables. I also worked at a dinner theater as a chorus girl, but that's a whole other story. Investing in the business you're growing when you don't have one is how you get one. So how I invest in my business is I invest in my clients and myself. I create positive ROI for my clients and I grow my skill set by practicing. That's it. So someone's also saying like, when I don't have clients, it's because I haven't put the energy out there to call them in. So if you don't have clients, focusing on steps 1 and 2 is how you provide value and engage with clients so that they start to come into your world and build a relationship with you, right? All of you guys are here on this call right now because I did number 1 and number 2, right? And because I've been focusing on number 1 and number 2 for you to be on this call. Now, in order for me to have a business, I have to have some more steps because I'm not making any money just from doing free calls, right? But we're going to get to that. But if you're feeling like I need to up my income, I need to up my client base, I need to up my community from which I'm drawing from, focus on step 1 and 2, right? Focus on step 1 and 2. Okay. Step 3. Are you guys ready for step 3? Okay. Step 3 is accessibly priced products. Okay. Accessibly priced products. Something that's low investment, but it involves a dollar exchange. Okay. Now, how do I define low investment? And what you're going to choose for this is going to depend on the business model that you're building. If you want to make decent money at a low priced offer, you have to have a huge community. So if you don't already have a huge community, honestly, my favorite tip is to pick something in the, let's say, $70 to $150 range. Okay. Somewhere in there, like $100-ish. It's not a huge investment where people will have to like overanalyze it. It's low enough that if someone wants to spontaneously buy, they do. It's not so high that people are like, I have to talk to my partner. I have to check my budget. I have to check my bank account balance. Like most people know if they can afford $100 or not, right? And the price that's right for you is going to be dependent on your energetic set point. Okay. This is critical. Your energetic set point matters more than anything when it comes to your step 3, which is your accessibly priced product. If someone can pop that in the chat, step 3, accessibly priced product, easy to access product. Okay. So when you hear me say that, some people think, oh, well, I'll just do like a digital download, like an e-course or a PDF or a this or a that. That's like $30, whatever, no brainer. People don't have to think twice about that. And if you have a big enough following, you totally can do that. If you're growing your network right now, my invitation to you would be to set a slightly higher price point in the $100-ish range. And James is absolutely right. Look at what you spend money on without thinking, right? Like if I see a healer that I want to connect with and their sessions are anything under $200, I don't even think twice. If I'm being guided to talk to them or connect with them and a one-on-one session is $200 or less, boom, I'm buying it. That's my personal set point. Anything over $200, I think about it a little more carefully, but I probably still will buy it if I feel a strong draw to them, right? So really get a sense of like, what is your energetic set point to those spontaneous purchases? And if you're growing your business or growing your community, I highly encourage this accessibly priced product to involve connection with you. To involve connection with you, where people can feel you and get to know you. It does not have to be one-on-one unless you want it to be. And honestly, I think one-on-one is the easiest to start out with, right? It can be small, intimate groups, right? Where you're like, come to this, circle, right? It's $30, but it's delivered live so that people can feel you and can connect with you and can build a relationship with you. The critical point in step 3 is relationship building, and for people to sample you, right? Like that sounds kind of weird to put it that way, but it's like the equivalent of going on coffee on your first date, right? I'm probably not going to make myself available for a 4-hour date on my first date if I've never met this person before and I don't know if it's worth investing my time and energy into them, right? I'm probably going to pick something lower risk like coffee where it's like an hour and then I can get up and leave if I want to, right? Now, using the first date analogy is one thing, but also think of it as that person. I want you to feel this for a second. If that person truly is your soulmate client, of which I'm going to give you information to help you understand that soon. But if that person really and truly is your soulmate client, and they have been burned in the past, have worked with other people in the past who didn't necessarily understand them, or they didn't quite get what they wanted, or they tried some certain healings and it didn't work, or didn't work to the extent that they wanted it to, they're going to be like gun shy. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be having a low sense of belief in themselves that it's possible for them to have the outcome they want. Okay. If your soulmate client is nervous, it's probably because they're questioning whether the thing they want is available to them. Right? So just put yourself in their shoes for a minute. They see you come along with this beautiful healing, this beautiful solution, this beautiful coaching, and they're like, I want this, but something's wrong with me. And every time I do these healings, I'm the same. I don't grow. I don't get better. I don't get what I want. Something's wrong with me. Right? Their belief is low. So if their belief in themselves is low, they're not going to invest high. Right? So it's our job to grow their belief in themselves through an accessibly priced product. We give them something that allows them to move a step forward. And now they're starting to believe in themselves again and find trust in themselves again through the mirror of our relationship, right? It's so powerful when you understand the $100 price point stuff in this light, right? Because so many people are, we talked about this in Magnetic Soul Codes the other day. So many people are disassociated and disengaged and checked out and hard on themselves and shrinking more and more and more. And the more they shrink, the more they don't believe in themselves. So if you are actually able to connect with someone on a one-on-one call or a small group session and give them a level of trust and belief in themselves, that is life-changing and transformational. And you will open up their heart for what's next, right? If that's something they want. Yeah, right? For people who had a low sense of belief, because it's like what would be an example? I'm going to use a horseback riding example. Hopefully this isn't too convoluted, but it's like my daughter rides horses. So it's like, imagine my daughter had been riding a horse who had an ill-fitted saddle, and she's trying to ride and the horse isn't doing what she wants it to do. And so she thinks, I'm a bad rider, right? Then all of a sudden someone comes along with the right fitting saddle and puts it on the horse and it fits properly. And then my daughter gets on the horse and starts riding, and the horse responds, and she's able to, to move through the arena and go around the barrels and go through the posts and all the things they do in riding lessons. What is that going to do? It's going to show her that she has the ability and the capacity and the power to move towards what she wants. And her belief and her trust in herself is going to grow, right? It's not the horse's fault. It's not her fault, right? For whatever reason, the saddle was the wrong fit, but that's okay. We've got the right fit. Right? Okay. So step 3 being accessibly priced product to build trust, to build connection. In numerology, we would do a one-on-one reading, right? So we would hop on a call. We'd maybe spend an hour on Zoom together. We'd maybe write out a written report the person could take home with them. We'd maybe draw out their grid. We'd give them some very specific things that they can do to move forward with whatever they came to me for. So going back to the love coach example, they're like, oh, I'm unlovable. I'm never going to find love. I've got blocks to love everywhere. We would look in their chart and we would start to understand why they feel that way and give them some very clear strategies to move forward. And here's the key. Here's why I like this step 3 to be one-on-one, because in that engagement and in that conversation, I hear what's going on for that person. I give them value. I help them grow. I help them trust themselves and expand in what they want. I give them very clear next steps to move forward. And then I can also say, I see steps 3, 4, and 5 on your path could look like this. And if you want support, I can walk you through that, through And then that's when you offer your next product, right? Through a course I teach, through a mentorship I offer, through private healing sessions, through a training I'm delivering, through the mastermind I have. Okay. So your accessibly priced product provides valuable transformation and ROI for your client, but it also allows them to open their hearts to the next step. You guys feeling me on this? Okay. So if you have a step 3 in place right now, which is a product that's somewhere in the like $70 to $150 range, I tend to enjoy the price point of 100, but you feel into it for yourself. Do you have a next step to dial that up, make that a little tighter, make that more clear for your clients as to what's the value they're going to get? Are you selling it? A lot of people have these and don't sell them. I'm guilty of this myself. I will turn off my button a lot because I'm like, I don't want too many appointments on my calendar. But then as soon as I do that, if I'm like, oh, I want to bring in new clients, I have to be willing to turn the button back on again, right? So if you're ready to call in clients, this is one of the most powerful ways to do so. So do you guys all have an action? Something you can do to dial that up a little bit? So for your accessibly priced product, number one, you want to have one. And then number two, you want to know what's the price point, what's the value, and how do I want to open the door for more people to come into that product? Okay. Everyone's got a note on that. How are we doing? It could be a monthly activation group, Catherine. It could be. The trickiest thing I would say around a monthly activation group is if your goal is to enroll people into a higher priced product, the monthly activation, depending on how you do it, may or may not do that. So you really want to think of what is my goal with step 3? And if your goal is to grow your income, then what you're going to want to do is really focus on what I'm going to be teaching as step 4. Okay. So if you understand your client journey and you understand how the monthly activations are going to keep them in my world or create opportunities for them to say yes when the right product comes around, then that's brilliant. And some of this, again, it really depends on your business model, because if you're a person who I run, 4 retreats a year and I have a course that opens on this date and that date. Well, you might not always have opportunities to be inviting into a paid product then. So keeping them in a container where you provide value and nurture them until a door opens is a really great strategy, right? If you are not at the place of having multiple courses or multiple retreats or offers on the go, then your step 4 is going to likely be ongoing private sessions. Okay. So the one-off sessions, can I tell you a secret? If you're a coach and healer and you are doing one-off sessions and you do not have a way to position an ongoing client relationship with you, you will struggle. One-off sessions are not sustainable. And I know there's some people who might fight me on that, and that's totally fine. I'm open for debate on it. It is my experience, both personally and professionally, and with the hundreds and hundreds of people I've coached at this point in my life, that if I make it too easy for you to just buy one-off numerology readings from me, I will burn myself to the ground. I will be fried and burnt out. The key is the difference between the struggling vows of poverty energy workers and the ones who are supported in a sustainable practice is the ones who can take a few one-off sessions and enroll them into an ongoing client relationship. You really want the ongoing client relationships. If you don't have courses or retreats or other things ongoing, you really want the ongoing client relationships. And arguably, even if you've got courses and stuff ongoing, you still want a handful of those ongoing client relationships because they are like your bread and butter. They give you stable income. They give you predictable income. They allow you to be like, I always know my base earnings, and anything I sell on top of that, gravy, wonderful, right? But like When you think about how revenue comes in, depending on the business model I have, okay? If I have a few products I offer here and there, it's like revenue comes in, then nothing, time goes on. Revenue comes in, then nothing, time goes on, okay? And that's fine if you're good enough to like income smooth, right? Am I losing you guys here? I hope that you're still with me on this. Tell me you're still feeling what I'm saying, okay? These are critical skills that we need to learn, okay? So if you're skilled enough to income smooth, that means you, on your high months, you put some away for the months that you're not bringing in revenue, right? And you also have a stable base of revenue coming in every single month where you're like, for the next 6 months, I know I've got $3,000 a month coming in for these coaching clients, right? Or I know I've got, you know, whatever it is, so many payments coming in from whatever it is, because then you've got a base income, and then you might have these fluctuations based on a course door opening or a retreat offering or an event that you're doing, whatever, that creates the ups and the downs. The ups and the downs only are really, really hard to feel supported in unless you're making more than $100,000 a year. If your business looks like this and you're making less than $100,000 a year, it's really dysregulating on your nervous system. It's really hard emotionally, right? And I don't know, like, obviously I don't know your personal circumstances. Maybe you have other revenue streams. Maybe you're in a 2-income household, whatever. I'm speaking from someone who's in a 1-income household and who's worked with a lot of clients who are either in a 1-income household or they're looking at themselves as like, this is like a silo here, right? So if you've got real estate investments or whatever else going on, great. That's awesome. Maybe that gives you that. But yeah, you kind of want to get a sense of, okay, good. I'm glad you're with me. Okay. So let's just take a breath here. Make sure we're all still together. We still have 3 points that we're going to talk about. We're on point 4 right now. I'm going to review that, but let's just make sure we're all still together. So tap your legs, feet on the floor. I'm covering a lot. That's why you might want to listen to this a couple times. You might also want to hear what I'm saying and pick one point to focus in on, build it up, and then come back and listen again to get your next steps. Because honestly, if you were to just like literally listen to this call and had the discipline to apply it for yourself, this is everything, right? This really is everything. I'm a squirrel who tucks money away. I love that, Michelle. I think that's really, really powerful. Okay, so we finished step 3, which is accessibly priced product. We're going to go on to step 4, which is a client pathway to healing. This client pathway to healing, step 4, this is your sustainably priced product. Okay, so someone can type in the chat, step 4, client pathway to healing, sustainably priced product. This, when you get to the point where this is dialed in, it will be like a breath of fresh air in your work. It will be like you can be creative. You can go and do different things. You can let yourself be pulled in different directions. You can explore things once you have step 4 dialed in. Until you have step 4 dialed in, it's going to be very important for you to have laser focus leading up to that. Okay. To create sustainability in your business, stability in your business. Okay. So what is the client pathway to healing or the sustainably priced product? For most people, depending on how long you've been in business for, but I would argue for most people, this looks like ongoing private client relationships. Those private client relationships are gold. Number one, if your desire is to eventually build a course, build a membership, build a training, build things like that, your one-on-one clients are your laboratory. That's where you find out what works, what doesn't work. That's where you find out what their biggest challenges are and what skills you have to help them. And it's paid. You get paid in this laboratory. It's so valuable. You get to create beautiful relationships. You get to make a massive difference in the world. You feel the energetic return because number one, you're getting paid for it. But number two, you are honing your craft and mastering your craft and seeing the difference that you can make by showing up to a client and fully contributing in the way you're meant to contribute, doing the work you're meant to do, right? So what is a sustainably priced product? It would be like a 6-month coaching arrangement. Laboratory. Maybe that's an accent thing. Some people might say laboratory. Some people might say laboratory. I don't know. Oh, every once in a while, my Canadian accent comes out. So I always think I don't have a strong Canadian accent, but then people would be like, you said, I'm like, oh, right. Okay, maybe I do. So sustainably priced product looks like a 6-month coaching contract, a 3-month coaching contract, a 1-year coaching contract, I say toque. That makes me Canadian. I put maple syrup in my coffee. That also makes me Canadian. It means that someone is showing up to be in relationship with you for a chunk of time, and they have committed financially to do so. It means that you can see that they have a challenge that they're working through. Let's go back to the love example. I don't know why love's on my mind today, but it is. Let's go back to the love example. It means like, I have decided I no longer want to stop myself from being in love, and I am going to commit to working with a love coach who's going to help me find love, and I am going to do the work. And the love coach is going to tell me, okay, Megan, I see that, this and this and this are your top challenges. This and this and this is where you want to go. Let's get you there. Here is the pathway to healing. Okay. That's why I call it the client pathway to healing. Here are the steps you need to get there. And then when someone tells me that, I'm like, okay, I want support. I've been trying to figure this out on my own. It sucks. Please help me. Here's my money. Let's do it. And you either can do a full pay, which if you do a full pay, please follow income smoothing principles. Or people go on monthly payment plans, which is also a blessing, because then every single month you've got, the $1,000 or the $500 or whatever you want to charge for your coaching packages coming in. Okay. So a client walking a journey with you being the guide. Now, so many of you have amazing tools that you use for that, whether it's EFT tapping, Reiki healing, coaching sessions, whatever other tools and modalities you use. Okay. Numerology can be used in conjunction with these tools, or you can also use numerology as kind of the main thing, right? No matter what, I would say it's very, very helpful and valuable to have a clear niche if you're going to use numerology as your main offer. So no, these are the types of solutions I provide. These are the types of clients I help. And then what you can do is you can actually look at their code and get a sense of what their energy is going to be unfolding like over the next couple months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And you can start to provide solutions based on the energy pathways they're going to be walking, right? You can start to help them find their trust, find their belief, find their self-confidence, find their footing, notice the ways they struggle and sabotage, and walk them through it, right? So you can use numerology to identify that. We go through cycles every day, week, month, year, and we go through 9-year cycles as well, that you can look at to kind of map out, like, this is where the client's going to be moving through. And you want to use this based on the session where they spent an hour talking to you about everything. Being a very good listener is a huge skill. We talk a little bit about this in the bonus I'm offering when you sign up for Practical Numerology, called the Transformation Formula, where you can get a sense of, because someone's coming to you because they either have a problem they want solved or have a desire they want met. Okay. So your job is to walk them through solving the problem or meeting the desire, or maybe it's a combination of both. And so you can start to use their code in their chart to figure out, well, if this person wants to find love, or this person wants to be more visible in their marketing content, or this person wants to get strong and vibrant in their body, whatever your niche is going to be, you can start to say, well, what about them makes this easy and natural? What about them is in alignment with this? What about them might be blocking or sabotaging or challenging it? And you can start to kind of point out what in their chart aligns them with what they want, and what in their chart might be like making some of their challenges worse, and how can they work on healing that, right? Are you guys hearing the client pathway? If you're a person that struggles to position a 6-month coaching package or a 3-month coaching package, understanding the journey your client is on energetically is super, super helpful, right? To help them see you're going to be in this energy this month, and then this energy this month. So let's focus on steps 1 and 2 right now. Going forward, we're going to focus on steps 3 and 4. Okay. And you can lay it out, right? You can really lay it out. Okay. So that was 4. And honestly, steps 1, 2, 3, 4 are key, with the goal of what's going to get me to feeling super dialed into 4, right? Like you can see how those are a bit of a progression. If you've got nothing happening in 4 yet, focus on 1 and 2. And if you're looking to kind of ramp things up a little bit, you can start thinking about 4 and what's going to get you more clients into 4. We talked a lot about private stuff in this call so far, because I think it's probably one of the easiest ways to build. And then once you've got your footing with private stuff, then you can start to be leveraged by running groups, running masterminds, running circles, doing courses, things like that. And you can use your one-on-one clients as like the study group, right? As the, some people might say beta. I sometimes struggle with the concept of beta because in my opinion, beta people often get more value because it's the first time you're doing it. So you really want to like make sure you understand what's going on. So they get a lot of like hand-holding. So I always think it's a really big blessing to be in someone's beta offering, because you're going to get a lot of hand-holding in that. Right? Anytime a coach says they have a beta, I jump, because you get extra love and support. So when people discount their betas, I always think, that's interesting, but okay, whatever works for you. It just goes to show pricing is based only on belief. That's the only thing pricing is based on, right? Yeah, I'll totally build your confidence for less than everyone else, and I'll happily let my hand be held in the process. Right? Yeah. And then, so from there, you can still use numerology as the foundation for group work, depending on what you want. Right. So I'm in masterminds, and I've ran masterminds, and we'll often use, like, people will invite me into their masterminds and say, can you speak to October energy to let my people know what to expect? Right. This is a powerful way to build networks and collaborate with other people who might have big businesses, but might, you might be able to support them. And in you supporting them, you get your name out there, you build some collaborations, you build some partnerships. And for those of you who've been listening for the last few days, I'm huge on collaboration. It is the way to move forward, is thinking of like, how can I give to you that makes you better off? And as a result, we're all better off, right? So thinking about like, how can I go in other people's spaces and support them? How can I be invited into other people's spaces and support them? How does this extra support the work I'm already doing? If you are a content creator, you can use this energy to create content. You can also coach people to use this energy to create content, which is really helpful. This is a thing I've been doing probably, since day 1. Is I would use the day energy, the month energy, to create my free workshops and trainings. I've been doing that since I started. So it's really, really powerful. You can layer modalities to do that as well. I'm just looking at the question here. And for anybody who's like, okay, Megan, like, I hear you say all this stuff, I don't know where to start. I don't know what's the right thing for me. There's a couple things I would say. Number 1, if you want to learn numerology and you want to bring this in as a skill, come into the practical numerology training. You'll get certified in numerology, and on the Thursday calls, you can ask me any business questions you want. You can make it as personal as you want or as general as you want. You will also receive the business boot camp, which is the week-long training at the end, where we talk about now, how do I implement some of this stuff, right? We have calls every single day for 1 week to really get this up and off the ground for you. Number two, if you're like, I just kind of want private coaching, I'm actually letting you guys know before anybody else that I'm opening my doors up to private clients again, which I really have not done in a very, very long time because I've been so focused on building my certification program. And I'm actually going to be taking on private clients again. So if you're someone who's like, I just want some private coaching, just DM me and let me know. And third, I want to announce that I have a workshop called Soulmate Clients, where I look at your code and the code of your soulmate client. And this is a training that's been incredibly popular. I've been invited into other high-end masterminds to deliver this training to high-end entrepreneurs who are like making the like 500,000 plus a year mark. And they freaking love this training. And I'm going to offer it to you guys as a bonus when you sign up for Practical Numerology, because at the end of the day, I know that part of your success is predicated on your ability to focus in and niche into, this is who I'm here to serve. This is who is asking for my medicine. This is who wants to work with me. This is where I am the answer to these people's challenges. So Soulmate Clients is so fun. And because I give you, it's honestly at this point, I think it's about an 80-page ebook that I give you when you sign up for Practical Numerology, and you get the Soulmate Clients as a bonus. You can do this for your clients as well. So if you're a coach that does any other coaching with other entrepreneurs of any sort, you can do a soulmate client reading with your people once you've taken this training. So that is something that's available to you as well. You can use this workbook on yourself. You can also use this workbook on your people. For people who like to help people create content, honestly, this is gold. If you're someone who is working to develop your own content or to look at your own client journey, right? Your own like arc of the client journey where they're going, you can use the Soulmate Client Code along with the numerology to, Soulmate Client Code is numerology. It's soul contracts that's rooted in advanced numerology. And I've just really broken it down very simply to create this one very specific niche offer that I'm going to share with you guys for free as a bonus when you sign up for PNC. So that is super, super fun. And I know a lot of people really love that. I'm just going through. You can absolutely use numerology to come up with naming conventions. So Pamela does this a lot when she helps people come up with names for their books. And I do teach in the Practical Numerology certification. I teach how to analyze name energy, word energy, letter energy, and to give you a framework for interpretation, right? Because it's like, well, okay, so if my last name starts with A, that's a 1. So what does that mean? Well, is that good or bad, right? And to help you understand, like, how would you interpret and analyze that? Okay, so you can do it for naming. Anne-Marie, I love it. This training skyrocketed my business. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, like this must be about like your third or fourth time listening at this point. So I'm glad to hear it. Catherine, you were in Soulmate Clients. I'm so glad you loved it. PNC covers numerology of letters. Yes, it is a wonderful bonus. Thank you. So Anne-Marie does a business class, and she's integrated Soulmate Client Codes into her course. It's pure magic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Alchemy of Numbers. Yes, the Alchemy of Numbers is what I call the advanced numerology training I offer. So soul contracts and soul agreements are part of advanced numerology. So if that's something you want to learn, how to use numerology to interpret soul contracts, that's something I teach in advanced. So that would be kind of your next step after practical. And Kasha uses Soulmate Clients as a high-end offer, right? It is a very high-end offer, absolutely, especially if you take the time to customize it with your people. It's very valuable. Okay, so I want to give you guys steps 5 and 6, and then we'll keep going on this. Okay, so step 5, okay? Step 5 is repeat clients. I have clients who come to me every single year on their birthday to get a numerology reading. And they have done so for 5 to 10 years at this point. I have, and I freaking love it, right? Like I never see them all year and then boom, coming up to the birthday, they're like, Megan, I need my birthday reading. Like done, right? Re-engaging clients after a period of time using numerology is so powerful, which is step 6. Okay. So step 5 is repeat and ongoing clients who come to you once a year on their birthday, or clients who come to you once a quarter to look at forecasting energy. This is gold, you guys. They're easy. It's straightforward. It's not complicated. They don't require a lot of hand holding. For people who don't want to hold space for clients between sessions, it's really valuable because you can be like, okay, you're going to come in on January 1st. You're going to come in on March 1st. You're going to come in on September 1st, and then we're done, right? Like literally you can kind of just map out a few things for them, flat rate it, however you want to do it. Super straightforward and easy. And then that's one of those things that you can really generate loyalty. So one of the things that I am most proud of in my business is that I have clients who come to me every year and have for, 5 to 10 years. Those clients to me refer me, speak highly of me in the community, recommend me for speaking engagements, invite me onto podcasts. Like the non-financial implications of having that kind of loyalty in your business is everything. And then 6, re-engaging clients. So we've all heard that old adage, it's easier to keep a client than to find a new one. And so numerology can be really powerful. You can look back in your calendar and say, oh, I did a reading for this person 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever. And you can check in with them and say, hey, we did your forecast. We did your blueprint. We did your chart. This came up because you're going to have notes from the session. I'd love to check in and see how you are. Could I offer you another reading? Is there anything I could do to support you on that path? How did that unfold? Right? Like I had my sister asked me to predict when her house was going to sell a few years ago. It was my sister, so it was a little bit different, but I looked at some dates and I was like, okay, it's going to either sell in November or it's going to sell in February. And it sold in November. And if she was a client, I probably would have had it jotted down somewhere to follow up to check. And then it was interesting because she actually followed up with me because she had another real estate contract happen in February. So both of my predictive dates were correct. And disclaimer, I used advanced numerology to predict those dates. But similarly, if you're using practical numerology and you're telling people you're going to go through a season of change, your soul is seeking freedom, or you're at a time right now where ideas are going to be coming on very heavy and very strong, right? A few weeks later, you follow up on them and you say, how did that go with the change cycle you were in? How did that go with the new initiation of ideas? How can I support you? Do you need some help to ground any of this? Can I help you walk through any of it? Has a new challenge emerged because of that cycle shift, right? And I mean, honestly, one of the greatest things you can do is once you've done a session with someone is kind of keep track of when their cycles are going to be shifting and just check back in. Like how sweet and loving is that to just be like, hey, I noticed you're shifting into a different energy. How's it feeling for you? Let me know if you have any questions. Like, boom. Now all of a sudden you are just like so in support, right? And it's just such a good feeling. Okay. Also birthday gifts. I guess that's kind of a bonus. When I was doing lots of one-on-one readings, I remember this one time, a referral. So a friend of mine referred a client to me. She did a numerology reading with me. She loved it so much, she bought another reading for her daughter. I gave the numerology reading to the daughter. The daughter loved it so much and told her mom. The mom bought another reading for the niece. Okay, so this one referral turned into 3 readings. The mom and the daughter both ended up taking practical numerology, and then both ended up taking advanced numerology, the alchemy of numbers. So one referral led to 3 private readings and 2 ongoing clients who said yes to 2, like an offer back to back. Gold. And there's some of my most wonderful people who refer me, share my posts on Facebook, like the relationship building connective stuff that you can't put your finger on, but is like priceless. So these kinds of things are really, really powerful for that kind of thing. Yes, I know we're at well over an hour. So if you have to go, you can definitely catch the recording later. But I know there's a few advanced numerologists on here and some practical numerologists on here. If you guys want to share how you've integrated numerology into your business and how does it affect like what you see as kind of your bottom line, whether it's loyalty, retention, sales, any of that kind of stuff. Does anyone want to share? Yes, please, Farah. I'd love to hear. Oh no, can we hear you? I think I have to flip you. I have to flip you over to English to hear you. Okay, now I can hear you. I can. Everyone else. Oh, no, they're shaking. I can hear you, but they can't. If you guys click on the button at the bottom, it says translation. Hit the English button. You should be able to hear her. Hopefully, because it's on, I can hear you, it's going to record okay. Oh, I that mini blueprints out of a group, like if you had a community that's not been very active for a while, I think that's so powerful to get people engaged. Yeah. Mhm. Love it. Oh, thank you for sharing, Farah. That's so beautiful. And Anne-Marie. Oh, this is an area that is missing in the industry. So if you're someone who's looking to work with families, there is a huge opportunity there. I obviously do the charts for my kids and things like that. And I know there's a few other people who've been kind of working on it, but for parenting, Maria, I don't know if she's on the call right now. She was on the call earlier, but Maria is a lady who lives in Kelowna who studied numerology with me, and she's doing teen workshops using the numerology, and it's in-person workshops. Like it's just, there's such a need for that, especially because most of our children feel like, when they go to school, they're just kind of one of 30 other kids in their class or whatever the classroom sizes are. And it's intense for them. So to feel unique and special and understood by the loved ones around them, their parents and stuff, I think it's huge. Amazing. Okay. Anne-Marie, will you share? Because you've brought a few different pieces into your work, haven't you?
I would love to. Thanks. Um, First, I want to say that within 4 weeks of signing up for practical numerology, I was offering readings. So within the first month, Megan gifts you so much valuable information, wisdom, insight that you can start doing your readings. And before the course was completed, I had fully paid it off with the money that I generated just from practical numerology, just from those readings and integrating it. So if you're wondering how can I build a business from this, if that's something that's a block for you or you're hesitant to join, just know that she does give you all the tools that you need to put yourself out there and to put numerology out there to generate the income to be able to have a business if that's something that you want. I was business coaching. As I mentioned in a previous call, I was doing heart centered leadership as a master desire map mentor. And I was mentoring and coaching master like desire map facilitators all over the world. And so very much like Farah and probably everybody that you'll talk to that integrates this into their business, it's allowed me to see clearly who my ideal clients are and how I can best support them. And I did that. And then I'm able to see not only the medicine that I meant to bring them, but the path, my client journey of what that looks like. So I sprinkle in little free forecasts in Instagram, Facebook, in email, and then I guide them into something called the Conscious Business Collective, which is 2 hours of group coaching at at a fraction of the price that I normally would charge for coaching. So for only $44 a month, they come in, we do a full-on energy forecast, and we have a conscious conversation about it. And we talk about how to calibrate to this energy. And they integrate it into their business by looking at that energy and aligning with it into their offers and their content. This small group offering is what catapults people into my coaching, my group coaching programs, the Conscious Business Immersion. It's how I get one-to-one readings. It's how I do one-to-one energy forecasts. And I also do little mini master classes on it. So I have a master class on how to build the best business for you based on your energetic code. I have a master class on ideal soulmate clients. And again, from those, as Megan has laid out, that I have them as repeat clients. I have clients that I've worked with for 5 years. And it's not because they're not getting results. They're my clients for 5 years because they keep getting results. And they keep getting different results because I keep inviting them to on my path, on my journey. So as I continue to transform, change, grow, I bring them along with me. And so when I introduce them to the ideal soulmate client and the concept of this, they're like, Anne-Marie, I want more. Jump into Conscious Business Immersion or jump into this one-to-one container, and I can guide you through that pathway of like understanding who it is who your ideal clients are and the medicine that you bring. And then we can build a soulful strategic plan based on that in their business as well. So when I first started though, some of you might think like, oh my gosh, like she's, next level. I didn't start this way. I wasn't next, I literally was like, okay, mini readings. And then I sent them out to my friends and I did a bunch of mini readings. And then I sent it out, cast a wider net, and I said $55 mini readings. And then I did a bunch of free divine numerology blueprints. And then once I got comfortable with that, then I cast a wider net and I said $111. And now I'm charging $222 for a divine numerology blueprint, which is your energetic code. I charge $333 for a forecast. And I did the same thing with forecasting too. I'm going to do a couple for free. I'm going to do a couple at a low price point. So as I build my confidence, I increase my prices. And now I have a package that's around $1,000 to $1,200. They do their energetic forecast and they have a coaching container for the year. So we have quarterly sessions to talk about the planetary shifts that happen around the 52-day mark. And those are one-to-one sessions. And in the meantime, they have Voxer coaching with me on Fridays. Yeah.
Oh, I just love it so much. And I know, like, if you guys were hearing her story from like the framework of the 6 steps we just walked you through, and she articulated very clearly, like, I started with some free, one-to-one, some free mini thises and some free of that. And as her confidence grew and she continued to implement the steps, her business grew. And this is why I was saying at the beginning of the call, this stuff isn't complicated. It's not complicated. And if anything, we overcomplicate it and make it harder on ourselves. The trickiest part is making the decision and choosing to show up for yourself in it. Like for Anne-Marie to be like, I'm going to put this out there. For Farah to say, I'm going to put this out there. That's the biggest part, literally, was to be willing to put it out there and then follow through with what came of it. To be willing to do those first few readings for free and then be willing to accept and receive money for some readings, and to continue to be willing to accept and to receive money for readings, and to then allow that net to grow, as Anne-Marie said, like casting a wider net, integrating in the next step, right? And then coming back and looking at, okay, well, what step am I on and how can I ground it in, right? Anne-Marie says, I've tripled my prices in my course and people don't bat an eye anymore because numerology has added so much value to my life and that my energy is aligned to it. And at the end of the day, the price that you can charge is so dependent on your energy and your belief around what you're offering. If you don't believe in what you're offering, you can't charge anything for it, right? It won't work. Your trust in your belief and your confidence in being able to deliver positive value to your clients is what's going to determine what you can charge, which is why a numerologist can charge anywhere between $50 to $1,000 for a numerology reading, because my confidence, trust, and belief in the delivery of it is going to determine the value the client gets, right? And value, what is price? Price is a subjective measure of perceived value, right? So as a client, whatever their perception is, that's the amount they're going to be willing to pay. So yeah, some people, we can get more business when you raise your price, because once you raise your price, it can often be a signal. It doesn't universally work that way if your energy's not behind it, but if you raise your price and your energy's behind it, yeah, you'll make more money, right? You absolutely will. And I often call this kind of like, I call it the WestJet pricing model, because airlines, the busier they get, the more they charge for the ticket. The ticket's going, like, if I buy a ticket to Vancouver, it's taking me to Vancouver. If I buy it, at a certain time, it's going to be $50, and I could buy it at a different time and it's going to be $1,000, right? It's all based on the energy behind the company and the energy of the availability and the energy of the transformation. So, it's kind of hard to fully equate going to Vancouver with transformation, but at the end of the day, if they know they can get me there, and I want to get there, I'm going to invest to get there based on how much trust and confidence I have I'm going to get there, right? And that part is no different with us. So your energy behind your offers is everything. Oh, I've been flying on Flair for $50 to Edmonton, Kelowna to Edmonton for $50. And it's shocking. I think Anne Marie was saying she was looking Vancouver to Kelowna and she found some cheap ones on Flair too, Flair and Swoop. So for the Canadians who've been stuck with a highly monopolistic airline market for many, many years, we're quite happy that there's some competitors. Start where you're at, free readings. Know that if this is something that's speaking to you, that I can walk you on this path. And your experience as to what you get out of it is going to be based on a lot of things. But number one, your energy and how you show up for it. You have the tools available to you. I will coach you on the Thursday calls if that's what you need. You will learn everything you need to do numerology charts by week 4. Like Anne-Marie said, you can start pre-selling them now if you want to be delivered in the next 4 weeks. You will be practicing readings with your buddy on week 1, practicing interpretations on week 1. So by the time week 4 rolls around, you ideally will have practiced at least 4 readings at that point. I will give you the business tools you need to be open for business, to be selling your stuff. You can ask me when things aren't landing. You can ask me about, whatever it is. Yeah. But if you're looking to invest in yourself and you're looking to grow both the energy and the strategy, I personally think that's where kind of my zone of genius is the combination of the energy mixed with the strategy. Does anybody have any questions? And maybe I'll just kind of share a little bit about the bonuses really quick too. Just to kind of remind you. So the practical numerology certification is $2,000, $1,997. Or you can do 8 payments. And I think it works out to be like $265 per month if you do 8 payments. And I have some bonuses for you. So bonus number 1 is the first 20 people will receive a free reading with one of the numerologists. And that alone is like a $200 plus value, obviously, depending how much they charge. But these people who are doing these readings are incredibly skilled. The second thing that you will receive is the business boot camp, which is at the end of the training of numerology. It's a 5-day business boot camp where we go into all the things you need to do, the energetics, plus the steps to be actually selling this work and providing offers and receiving money for it. Number 3, the bonus I just announced today that I'm going to share with you is a soulmate client workshop. And this is the workshop that will help you to connect with who is your soulmate client. What are their deepest fears? What are their greatest desires? What are they afraid of? What motivates them? What do they want in life? What's their energy? Why are they here? And then you will also know yours. So you can start to understand, like, how am I the solution that this person is looking for? And that gives you so much content for creating courses, creating products and services, and creating copy, right? Marketing copy, whatever you want to use it for, email copy, that kind of thing. The transformation formula is another one, which is the formula I use is 6 steps to know that you're actually providing lasting transformational change to your client and not just quick fixes. We've all been there where we've had a coaching session and it helps for like a week and then we backslide, or it helps for a few days and then we backslide. So in the transformation formula, I really go through what are the differences between true lasting transformational change and how do you know if you're there or not? What might be the kind of flags to look for to make sure that you're not missing any of the steps, that kind of thing. I think that those were the bonuses. I'm trying to remember if there's another bonus in there. Oh yeah, tarot numerology. I was like, there's something I'm forgetting about. Tarot numerology, which is just a really fun workshop where I integrate tarot and numerology together. Whether you already know tarot or not, doesn't matter if you're an expert or beginner. It gives you some visuals for interpreting the numbers. And so I share the overlap between the two, which is really fun and kind of playful. Okay. So classes are Tuesdays and Thursdays. We meet at 10 Pacific time. I have a lot of people in different time zones from Kuwait to Australia to the Netherlands, Canada, the US. Like we have clients all over the world. And so some people watch live, some people watch replay. Either way is fine. If you cannot make the Q&As, you can submit questions to me, or you can post them in our Facebook group. And if I get questions in our Facebook group that are good questions, I go live and answer them. So you guys have lots of availability to me. It's just a matter of what kind of questions I get asked, especially when I get asked good questions. I can't help myself. I want to come on and talk about it. So if you guys have good questions for me, that's a lot of fun. The calls are approximately an hour. I will be stricter about being on time than I was today so that I don't go over. 6 p.m. for you. Yeah, that's the other thing I want to say. James was here since last round, and there's a lot of people here from previous rounds. Once you have signed up for practical numerology, you can reattend as many times as you want. I do not charge alumni to reattend. The community stays open. I do it that way because I want you to be supported. I want a high level engagement. I want us to be there for each other. And I also know that sometimes you can sign up for something, and despite all the best of intentions, life derails you and you miss half of it. And you like, no, I want to come back and start again. And so every time I offer this, I have people reaching out to me saying, oh, Megan, like I was in the last round, but I fell off the wagon. Can I come back? And I'm like, of course you can. It's okay. You're always welcome. It happens.
I want to add in, Megan, what a bonus, what a benefit is that you really line up people for their buddy. The buddy system that you include with your course is off the charts useful and helpful. And the assignment, the way that it incorporates the buddy was really, really amazing. And it's obvious that you put in some effort in lining people up appropriately for their numerology. So I think that counts as a bonus.
It does. You're right. The buddies are the best because like all kinds of neat connections unfold. People stay in that relationship. I've had people collaborate on retreats and workshops and podcasts and all offers and stuff together. So it's really fun to see what can unfold. Pamela saying something landed big time in the last round of advanced numerology. And I've been studying this for 2 years. Absolutely. So, as I said, like numerology is like a living, breathing entity, right? It has its own life force energy to it and its own field. It's a field, right? And when we practice it, we contribute to the field, but we also receive from the field. And so I find for me, every time I relook at it, I can go deeper with it. And a lot of the other students do as well. And that's why people keep coming back for more, because every time you re-engage, you're going to learn a level deeper. And, as Pamela said, the alchemy of numbers this summer, that was end of August, was so good. So good. And I personally think, again, are you allowed to toot your own horn? But I think my content's getting better and better because of my level of devotion around this work. And I've been all in for years now, and continuing my practices and continuing to educate and train myself. And in doing so, my content keeps growing. And I'm like Anne-Marie said, everyone in my world gets to come along for the ride. And it's really powerful when we get to grow and collaborate together in this way. Thank you. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Kasha. Does anybody else have any more questions or want to unmute and chit chat? We can take a little bit of time together if you guys want. If you have to hop off the call, go for it. If anyone still has questions for me and wants to talk one-on-one, you can absolutely do so. Just send me a little note. Definitely want to make sure it's the right fit for you. And if you have any questions, I want to be there to support you in your process. Yeah, that's right, Farah. There's no deadline for certification. So I have lots of people who will take a break and come back later, or who will, something's going on and then they need to revisit. And that's totally fine. There is certification requirements, but you can do them whenever you want. Some people are like, I'm going to start on day one, and start selling and offering and doing all the things and get certified instantly. And other people are like, I'll do it when I feel like it. And it depends on what you want. Like you get to be the creator. You're so welcome, Carrie. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Sarah. Aw, I've loved spending time with you guys this morning. Thank you for the wisdom. Oh, big love. Absolutely. 100%. Your content has grown and grown. I love how you deliver and reoffer existing numerologists. Thanks, Maria. So good. Okay, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much. Reach out to me if you want to chat, send me a note. And hopefully I see some of you guys in practical numerology soon. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Before you
Oh,
go,
sure.
Megan,
Mhm.
I had my Facebook account stolen.
Oh,
So I've started a new one, but obviously I'm not in PNC
send me a
anymore
note
because
and I'll add you in. Yeah.
I'm not sure how, because all my Facebook stuff's been nicked. Oh, I got your email. I'll
You got my
email
email?
you.
Send me an email and I'll give you the invite link.
I think I've probably got the old one still. Can I use that?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
There'll be an invite link in the, like, if you log into Kajabi, there's an invite link, I think, on the first module. But if not, just send
Oh,
me
I can still get into my Kajabi. Oh, join the Facebook in the Kajabi. Is that?
you can,
Oh,
I
I'll
think.
do that. I'll do that. That's easy. No
Yeah,
problem.
if you're struggling, just send me a note. That's no problem.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably
Alumni
get
do
it
not
sorted
need to
myself.
register, Betsy. You should still have access on Kajabi and you're in the Facebook group. So you'll get all the emails
You
with
do.
meetings
You
and stuff.
do, because I had a look.
Yeah, it should all be there still. You won't have gotten kicked out unless something weird happened in the weird tech world. Weird Mercury stuff. But you should have access. If you need anything, just send me a note. But if you're in, you're in.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Okay. Dates. We start on October 11th. October 11th is day one. I'm accepting people to join PNC up until Friday this week, which I think is October like 7th or something. I don't know. So you have until Friday to decide if you want to join. And then this coming weekend is Canadian Thanksgiving. So I will be enjoying Canadian Thanksgiving. And then we'll be starting our next round of numerology next Tuesday. Almost like a week away. It's so exciting. Okay. Awesome, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon.